What up, though? And welcome back to Old School Hip Hop Head Real Reacts. I also have another YouTube channel called Real's Reactions, and on that YouTube channel, I'm reacting to 99% Golden Era Hip Hop. So if you're ever in the mood to watch some old school hip hop reactions, all you have to do is go to the link that I'm gonna put in the description of this video. Alright, man. So here we go. As y'all know, I've been doing this hip hop album review for 2025. And for May, I'm going to be reacting to Good Kid, M.A.A.d City by Kendrick Lamar. But since everybody is telling me how important this album is and how this album is like a movie, I wanted to look at this documentary and just get like the background or whatever, the details behind the scenes. I don't want to miss shit when I actually listen to the album, you know what I mean? So I'm going to check out this video, and if the dude is playing any music, if it's given like too much information, I'm probably just gonna dip out and not do it, because, you know, I need it to be raw and organic when I listen to it for the first time around. So I don't want to do too much cheating, but I just don't want to get lost while I'm listening to the album. So with that being said, shout out to this person, Chelito. Looks like they got 123,000 subscribers, and this video has 2,179,000, basically 2,180,000 views. So without further ado, we're gonna get to it. But I see a couple people in the building. We got Black Sun, the troll slash hater from last night, and then we got Cousin Vlad and Tony. All right, man, so let's check this out. I don't know if y'all seen it or not, but I definitely have not. Let me know if the volume is cool and all that too. If you hear echoes, any bullshit, let me know.
Kendrick Lamar's Good Kid, M.A.A.d City. I honestly doubt it. Here, a lot of people think they know Kendrick Lamar's Good Kid, M.A.A.d City. I honestly doubt it. Here, we're not only going to be revisiting the album, we're going to be dissecting every story, meaning and how this is Kendrick's greatest album.
That's what I need to hear.
Kendrick Lamar's Good Kid, M.A.A.d City is more than just a bunch of random songs. No, it tells the story on how Kendrick became the success he is today by battling his inner demons, trauma, and how in just one single day, Kendrick would be faced.
Oh, what happened? What the hell? What's going on?
with the hardest choice of his life. So,
fuck that up.
What does it mean to be a good kid in a mad city? The album starts with a prayer.
Lord God, I come to you a sinner, and I humbly repent for my sins.
Now this is no doubt the most important line of the entire album, and somehow it's the first thing we hear.
Black Sun, put it in the comments.
Way to start, since it gives us a sense of remorse.
With a link to the song, please.
But who are these people and what are they praying for? That's when you start getting the sense of something. What is he talking about? I missed it. My bad. Way to start. And somehow it's the first thing we hear. A rather interesting way to start, since it gives us a sense of remorse and repentance. But who are these people and what are they praying for? That's when you start getting the sense of something not being right. Important sound that represents a key figure in this album, a girl that would change the whole trajectory of everything to come after, Shireen. The song kicks off at this house party in Compton where a young 17-year-old Kendrick meets this girl, Shireen.
I met her at this house party on El Segundo in Central. She had the credentials of strippers in Atlanta. Hello, my name is Kendrick. She said, no, you're handsome. Whispered in my ear, disappeared, then found her dancing.
She's captivating. It's beyond anything he's felt before. But this girl, Shireen, becomes a huge temptation for Kendrick. The way that he describes her, all rough and focusing on her physicality, shows the youthful impulsiveness that drives so many of his decisions in this album. This is where the concept of choice starts to take place. We learned in the song that Shireen is affiliated with gang in her family.
Her favorite cousin Demetrius is a reputable family history of gang banging did make me skeptical.
He's able to acknowledge these red flags but still chooses to pursue her anyways, driven by his lust. So when the opportunity presents itself for Kendrick to go over, he doesn't hesitate to take his mom's van and drive straight to her house.
Oh. That's the van from that Drake had put in that video. Oh shit.
Be back 15 minutes.
Why do I use Navan?
No one asked you.
It makes managing business travel spend so.
And I'm thinking about that ex, thinking about her thighs, or maybe kissing on her neck, or maybe
Nigga,
what
stop.
positions next.
I don't want to hear the music.
Closer to Shireen.
Defeating 6 steps from where she stationed.
But as Kendrick inches closer and closer to Shireen,
Poured up, a smile on my face, and then I see 2 niggas, 2 black hoodies. I froze as my phone rang.
the track here suddenly stops. A very simple story. Boy meets girl, girl becomes a problem, and consequences begin. But after this point, you're left wondering, what just happened? Are these two hooded people involved with Shireen? Was this all a plot towards Kendrick? Even considering Kendrick's mom refers to Shireen as a hood rat in the ending skit of the song.
Where you at? Damn, I'm sitting here waiting on my van. You told me you was gonna be back in 15 minutes. You on your way or what? I hope you ain't out there messing with them damn hood rats out there, especially that crazy ass Shireen.
As the album progresses, you're able to see that Shireen, aka Master Splinter's daughter, is sort of a starting point for Kendrick to confront his own identity. Who is Kendrick? Who does Kendrick want to become? It represents a crossroads where the wrong choice can lead to horrible outcomes. So, who is Kendrick gonna choose to be after this just happened? Vibe is the second and most favorable song off the album and introduces us to a new version of Kendrick. No longer K-Dot, the young boy from Compton, but Kendrick as he is from the release of this album. In the song, Kendrick talks to different people, with each perspective being able to help us understand his message a little better.
I did not know that.
Having a conversation with God, talking to him as a sinner.
Okay.
Taking the time to rant taking the time to rant to God about how he doesn't like where rap is going, telling him that his music is meant to send a message of love and courage, but others just use it to get famous.
I don't mind. I don't want to hear the music anyway.
Here seeking guidance from God as he navigates his new fame. This can also be interpreted as Kendrick having a conversation with two sides of himself. One side is super confident. This side of him feels inspired and believes that he can reach great heights in his career. But then there's the other side that feels unsure and weighted down by everything that comes with being famous. Two voices going back and forth throughout the song. Then there's Kendrick talking directly to you, the listener. He's trying to stay focused on what's important to him, but people around him are just messing with his vibe, distracting him. The song basically saying, leave me alone, let me do my thing without any of this bad energy. All three of these are valid points and can be used to interpret the song better. And even though this song has no significance to the actual narrative of the album, its solo story is able to capture where Kendrick's mind is at from writing this album. But what does all of that have to do with Kendrick's mind is at from writing this album? But what does solo story is able to capture where Kendrick's mind is at from writing this album? But what does all of that have to do with this?
K-Dot, get in the car.
Cruz, this is not a Eminem reaction.
With this.
K-Dot, get in the car. Before we finna roll out. I got a pack of blacks and a beat CD. Get your freestyles ready.
Oh, that's Dave Free. Is that supposed to be Dave Free? Because I don't know, what was that? Oh, in Kendrick's The Heart Part 6, he was talking about how Dave Free had a car and they would just drive around and he would be freestyling all day long.
From writing this album. But what does all of that have to do with this?
K-Dot, get in the car.
We need a PhD. That's why I'm watching this first, yo. Because I would have never known he was talking to three different fucking people. God, himself, and then the audience in that one song, Don't Kill My Vibe. I never would have figured it out.
That have to do with this.
Okay, I got you, Cruz.
K-Dot, get in the car. Before we finna roll out. I got a pack of blacks and a beat CD. Get your freestyles ready.
Backseat Freestyle is the
I
third
reacted
song
to that.
off the album, and you can immediately tell the disconnect from the last previous tracks. While those two were focused more on explaining something to you through this sort of calmer beat, Backseat Freestyle jumps right off the bat with this more aggressive tone. And it's easy to know why, since we know who's rapping here.
Hey, I'm now for living life confined. It's a failure, even if I'm blind. I can tell you who, what, when, where, how to sell your game right on time.
Putting us back in the eyes of that younger Kendrick from the first track. But the last we heard of him, he was caught up with Shireen and these two hooded people. So what happened? Remember, this story isn't linear. As a matter of fact, this song is one of the first events that happened throughout the day, with Kendrick getting stopped a couple hours later. The story in this song isn't anything crazy like some of the songs coming up, but it's this sort of click that puts everything into motion. Right off the bat, you can immediately tell that this song is just Kendrick freestyling in the back of the car. And that's it. But what is interesting about it is that it's able to help us understand how we're supposed to view this younger version of Kendrick. Because we learn, one, he's easily influenced when he's around his friends, focused on power, money, and women.
All my life I want money and power.
Is two, extremely young, talking about what he does.
I pray my get big as the Eiffel Tower, so I can f the world for 72 hours.
And three, is scared all the time. Let's take a pause here and try to learn who exactly is in this car, because these are Kendrick's friends. And while it's not important to identify who each person is, it is important to know how big of an impact they have on this kid.
Jimmy Bastos, what up?
Kendrick doesn't think about change in what's coming next, these friends will be the reason that his life is about to take the biggest U-turn you've ever seen in your entire life. The Art of Peer Pressure is probably one of the most intuitive songs off the album.
Oh, that's
and
a song?
really starts pushing the needle forward compared to other songs prior. So what's going on here? The song is an immediate continuation of Backseat Freestyle.
You ain't wait, we only been doing this 8 minutes.
That song was literally just Kendrick rapping in the back of the car. But as mentioned earlier, these friends aren't people to mess around with. And Kendrick, despite how he's been acting so far, is only doing it to gain some brownie points from these people. Because the truth is, Kendrick doesn't like to get into any trouble. He wants to stay as far away from gangs as possible. He really is just a good kid. But the second he decides to step into that car,
Twist Insight, shout out to India.
So as Kendrick continues to drive around the city, the more and more his friends want to do. Now, keep in mind that he's been in this car all day, and the amount of things that they've been doing is beyond explaining.
Me and my niggas 4 deep in a white Toyota, a quarter tank of gas, one doing orange soda.
They meet some girls, they get interrogated by rival gangs, just trying to cause as much trouble as they can. But at some point during this ride, someone passes Kendrick a blunt. Again, Kendrick does not want to do this. He has no idea what's in it, who gave it to him, but it doesn't matter, right?
This is very vital in the city of Los Angeles, because that blunt could be laced with sherm, aka that butt naked. You know, if you remember Friday when Smokey ended up in Debo Chicken Coop from fucking with the Mexican niggas, they was smoking sherm. Oh no, he said angel dust, but same family.
Right? Well, we'll get to that later. After driving around for what seemed like hours, they end up in front of a house. And Kendrick already knows what's about to happen. He is not about to break into that house. Think of the consequences. Think of your mom. Consequences? Look at us. Everyone's already going in. If we don't go, imagine how bad everyone's gonna see us. The risk isn't worth it. Look at him. He's scared. He's not like them. One wrong move could ruin everything.
They not like us.
But one good move can make him a legend in the streets. Think about it. You're making this a big deal when no one's even home. No, you know what? There's no way in a million years we're going in there, especially to break in. And that's final.
I hit the back window in search of any Nintendo DVDs, plasma screen TVs in the trunk.
But then, as predicted, the worst happens.
Hey, there's somebody in this room. Wait, what? There's somebody in this room.
Panicking, they sprint back to their car and speed off. They have to escape these cops as fast as possible.
We made a right, they made a left, they made a right, they made a left. But they made a right, they made a left, they made a right, then another right. One lucky night with the homies.
The song is really about this persona Kendrick has been building for himself from each of these tracks. And it really is a battle between the angel who wants to make it out of Compton and the devil saying to fit in since this is how his life is supposed to turn out. But his friends keep weighing him down. Whatever they do, he feels pressured to do the same, which then turns into this constant cycle of trouble, which bleeds exactly into what happens right after.
Now you faded up? Yeah, we finally got that faded. I think he hit the wrong blunt though. Kick back as an alibi. Wait till the sun go down, roll out, drop K-Dot off at his mama van. Cause I know he's trying to put my shrine tonight. And we all gonna meet back at the block at about 10:30. Matter of fact, get the motherfucking car. We finna get at that.
Uh-oh.
Money Trees is the most listened song on the album, and
really never heard of it.
If you, the listener, are looking at this song for the first time,
it's the most listened to song on the album, more than "Kill My Vibe." I've never heard of this shit before in my life. Money Trees.
What do you think of? Do you think of a tall, humongous tree filled with a bunch of money? Maybe a metaphor for a wealthy person? Or could it mean something completely different? After Kendrick got dropped off at his mom's van, he decides to drive back home. But as he drives back, he starts to think a bit. Think about where his life is going. So as he's driving, he's thinking about his past, thinking about his future, thinking about money. So far, every passing moment, the house break-in was about stealing valuable things.
Hit that house, like tell me is you with it, you bitch. From 9 to 5, I know it's vacant, you bitch.
The rapping in the car was about how rich he wants to become.
Me and my niggas trying to get it, you bitch. Yeah, bitch. Then freeze that verse when we see dollar signs.
Everything is revolved around getting $1. As Kendrick is doing all of these horrible things, he's thinking about this dream of living the rapper's life with the money and cars.
Dreams of living life like rappers do, like rappers do, like rappers.
But then he remembers where he's from, so he's willing to do anything to get that check. He then starts to think about how he's going to be able to have the most beautiful wife when he makes it, saying that everything in his life could be going horribly wrong. But if he just had some money, all of the issues in the entire world would magically disappear because he would have complete and utter power over everything and everyone, making his life perfect. All from a piece of paper. But at the same time, Kendrick knows that what he's doing is wrong and unethical. So now he can pick the good or the bad. The good obviously being don't steal, and the bad doing risky things to get money quickly.
I hear you.
In his heart, there's one side of him that wants to start doing the right thing, which he calls hallelujah, and another part that just wants the lust of money and excitement, which he calls Halle Berry. Each side trying to pull him into a different direction.
Hallelujah,
but
Halle
then
Berry.
a realization: how is money viewed? Sure, money can get you the girl, but Kendrick wants real love. So now he's just looking at her as a distraction.
Be the last one out to get the stove. No way, love on a bucket head, no way.
Think of it like climbing the mountain of life. People will take their backpacks full of necessities and their morals, things they love, but it's a lot of stuff, so it's heavy. So it's crazy what people are willing to do to get up the mountain faster, dropping stuff from their backpacks more and more just to get to the top first.
Interesting.
So when you get up there, you forget why you even climbed up here in the first place. Does Kendrick want that? So far, Kendrick has been kinda immature. But this is showing an awakening to what he can finally do to change. So this is it. After seeing Shireen later, his life is about to completely change. He can actually make it out of Compton. All of these trials and tribulations for Kendrick to wake up and finally realize he can make it out. Oh, wait.
Oh, yeah.
Poetic Justice
I know this song.
is one of those songs on every album about
I really
love.
ain't listened to it.
So this is a love story between Kendrick and Shireen, right? Well, not exactly. First, poetic justice is used as a literary device, being this sort of special tool that writers use to make their stories more interesting and lifelike. So when you see a phrase like poetic justice, think about someone who's always been too busy for love and just pushes away anyone who's ever cared about them. But then one day they fall deeply in love with someone else, but they end up being too busy for them. That person finally gets what it's like and realizes they need a change. Poetic justice takes place right after the events of the first song, where we saw Kendrick meet Shireen and fall in love with her. But what I didn't mention is that Kendrick meeting Shireen to the drive to her house take place months apart from each other. And there's a bunch of crucial information in those months that we need to break down. So from that first song, we can see that Kendrick likes Shireen. But the thing is that he doesn't just like Shireen, he likes Shireen.
I recognize your fragrance. Hold up, you ain't never gotta say shit.
So every passing moment he's thinking about her, wanting her, but he starts seeing that something is kind of off about her because she's always with the wrong crowd and she likes him one day and the other completely ignores him. Turns out Shireen has been sneaking around with other dudes, and the dude she messes around with in this song
Natural hair and your soft skin and your big and that sundress.
Except
what?
Kendrick likes this. He likes the chase.
Oh no! What? I'm confused. What is Aubrey doing here? Oh no! I thought we was done with this nigga. He's dead.
Turns out Shireen has been sneaking around with other dudes, and
Ain't
the dude
this
she
a
messes
bitch?
around with in this song is, not important.
Your natural hair and your soft skin and your big and that sundress.
Hold on.
Except Kendrick.
Wait a minute. Is Kendrick and Aubrey on the same song? He's the feature? Oh no! What the hell? What is going on? Oh man! Oh, that makes that YNW Melly bar even better right now.
Likes this. He likes the chase. How complicated their relationship is really has him thinking that she really wants him. So he starts doing everything he can to start to understand her and get as close to her as possible, becoming friends with her friends, acting cool, but nothing seems to work. Time passes and she eventually gives in, and Kendrick and Shireen start talking more and more every day. But it's extremely clear that she's only using him for one thing. So here we are, sitting on the curb with her, looking as beautiful as ever. And
YNW Melly.
her about this dream he has about true love. He talks about how love should be more than just, taking the skin boat to Tuna Town. It should have a more deeper emotional connection. And if they actually fell in love, Kendrick would be able to protect her and save her from this situation that she's in. Shireen, looking at Kendrick, confused. She tells him she's not looking for anything that serious. So she tells him no, but they can still smash pissers whenever. And you know what Kendrick says to this? After everything he's done trying to find true love with this girl.
First of all, I've never heard that expression, smash pissers. What? That was hilarious.
And you know what Kendrick says? She tells him no, but they can still smash pissers whenever. And you know what Kendrick says to this? After everything he's done trying to find true love with this girl. Okay. You know what's really good about this song is that it's placed right smack in the middle. So at this point, you're able to get familiar with everyone and how they would act. We already know Shireen is bad because she led Kendrick to these two guys a couple songs back. So the whole time you're thinking, well duh, Kendrick doesn't want to be with this girl, she's bad. But Kendrick doesn't know that. All he knows is that he met this girl at a party and he really likes her. Every song has been building up, showing us every fumble Kendrick has taken so that he can learn. Because if we compare Kendrick a couple of months ago at the party, only seeing Shireen as someone he can smash, to now you can see how much he's changing. So us, as the listener, are forced to see Kendrick do the wrong thing, knowing that he would eventually change. Kinda.
Oh shit, they pressing the nigga. Well, we can't hear this. This ain't the song. Or is it? I'm kind of glad they muted the vocals though, for sure.
Good Kid is interesting because a lot of people like to group it with its other half song, Mad City. Now, these two songs aren't here to capture how Kendrick feels or acts, but it's really about knowing that he would eventually change. Kinda.
Where your grandmama stay. Oh shit.
Good Kid is interesting because a lot of people like to group it with its other half song, Mad City. Now, these two songs aren't here to capture how Kendrick feels or acts, but it's really
Good
about
Kid's
what
a song by itself.
has done to him. Wait, I'm sorry. What the heck just happened? Kendrick just got threatened by these two men and the song just glosses over that? This is possibly the worst situation Kendrick could ever be in right now. This can ruin his future, his relationships. What can he do? Exactly. What can he do? Good Kid sees him stuck. Everyone's left him alone and he's left with no other option but to think, having his whole life play out in his mind. And every time he replays it and replays it, all he can think to himself is how in every situation he's tried his best and be good. Sure, he's had his stumbles, but he was truly ready to change now. So what's happening? What is he missing? Maybe he's gone too far with his friends. Maybe it was Shireen. Heck, it could have been himself. Looking around, knowing that no 17-year-old should ever be in this situation. Ever since he was young, he's felt trapped in the walls of his own mind, as if the walls are slowly closing in and there's nothing that he can do to stop it. That's why he's so scared and anxious all the time. Kendrick again has a flashback on walking home from Bible study one day. All seems good and calm for once, and then some dudes spot him and assume that he's part of a rival gang. They don't ask questions, they immediately see him as a threat. He knows that even though he's not involved in stuff like this, he can be attacked for just being at the wrong place at the wrong time. The chorus also acts as a reflection of the chaos in the city, calling it.
I think that's how half the people end up being gangbangers become gangbangers because of shit like that.
A mass hallucination and ill education, meaning that people are caught in this shared delusion and broken way of thinking, where violence, fear, and hate just seem normal. If we look at the album cover, it perfectly sums up what I'm talking about. We see a baby Kendrick surrounded by guns and alcohol, violence. This is all Kendrick's ever known. Kendrick surrounded by guns and alcohol, violence. This is all Kendrick's ever known. Again, surrounded by guns and alcohol, violence. This is all Kendrick's ever known. Again, coming back to reality. Kendrick, now helpless and powerless, just sits there for hours. The room's so quiet, all you can hear is his own heartbeat. Seeing nothing that can help, he sits there and he prays. Prays that if he's able to get out of this situation, he knows that it will be meant to be. Everything he's been going through is there to make him stronger. If he can escape this house, he can show the world that staying a good kid can actually pay off. Then the song stops. No explanation, no skit, nothing.
Brace yourself, I take you on a trip down memory lane. This is not a rapper, I'm slinking.
Okay, other half of Good Kid, we just saved Kendrick. Oh my gosh. Mad City is the most intensifying song, as it blew everyone away the first time they listened to it. But the way that it comes in with this veracity is not just for show. It's probably one of the most important parts of this entire album, which is super crucial to know later. We'll get to it. So what is happening? I know a lot of information just hit your brain, so let's do a little recap. Kendrick goes to see Shireen. Shireen purposely set him up to get interrogated by these two guys. They locked
Why?
him up, and Kendrick's friends just came to save his life. That means that Kendrick's prayer to God is now in full effect. So, did God send my friends? Did Shireen really set me up? So many thoughts start rushing into his head, with his thoughts getting crazier and crazier, thinking about why he needs to get out of this city. Comparing it to a war zone in Pakistan where people keep dying and how somehow it's normal for you to keep a gun on you at all times. Kendrick being only 9 years old and watching someone get shot for the first time. That moment switching his mindset forever. The more and more Kendrick thinks, the worse his thoughts get. If you listen closely, you can hear Kendrick's voice breakdown at the brink of tears the further we get into the song.
Ugly waving your hand out the window, check yourself. Now
I'm trying to think about the first time I saw a nigga get shot. We was at this park, this when we was living on the east side, and we was playing baseball. Just a whole bunch of like kids from the neighborhood, not a team. We playing baseball. The basketball court is fenced in, it's right next to us. Some nigga called the nigga a bitch or something like that. The nigga came back like, call me a bitch now, and that nigga had on no shirt, blue jeans, some sort of gym shoes, and he pulled out a fucking shotgun. I didn't see where he pulled it out from. And he blasted that nigga, son. And I'm talking about if this nigga, like they was kind of walking away from the basket towards the half court, like the dude was like backing up and the nigga was walking towards him. So if I had to imagine it, imagine a nigga being like right in front of the half court line and the nigga with the shotgun being like in between the 3-point line and the free throw line. And he blasted that nigga. And as soon as he blasted him, we all just fucking broke the fuck out. We left balls, bats, and any fucking thing else we couldn't use to get the fuck out of there. You know what I'm saying? So that had to be second or third grade. So I don't know how old you are in those grades, but yeah, that shit was crazy. So me and Kendrick got a lot in common. He grew up in Compton, I grew up in Detroit.
The further we get into the song.
ugly waving your hand out the window, check yourself. Now crawl your head in that noose.
Listen closely, you can hear Kendrick's voice breakdown at the brink of tears the further we get into the song.
Ugly waving your hand out the window, check yourself. Now crawl your head in that noose. You wind up dead on the news.
It's almost like he can't take it anymore. Why is this happening to him? There's a specific phrase in this song that explains it better than I ever could.
No guns in Norway.
Where you from? Who you know? Where you from? Where your grandma stay, huh?
It almost sounds like what those guys said to Kendrick earlier.
I'm gonna tell you where I'm from, okay? You gonna tell me where you from, okay? Or where your grandma stay.
But why is it here? And why is it so distorted and low? Well, the answer to that is actually extremely simple.
Wake your punk, suck. It ain't nothing but a Compton thing. Chill.
If we go back all the way
It's
to the
M.A.A.d, Compton's Most Wanted.
I told you guys that Kendrick took a blunt with a bit of some of that powdered sugar, remember? So the true effects of that blunt haven't started hitting him until he started running for his life in the beginning. Probably why he was able to outrun those guys, huh? So this entire
that nigga
first
definitely
section of
smoked some
the song with
sherm.
Kendrick talking insane and going crazy was him hallucinating in the car as him and his friends were driving away. He can't get
That nigga was smoking sherm. Damn, I knew it.
over how crazy his life is. Did you not see what just happened to him?
The third ward of New Orleans or of Houston? Damn, you found some dead niggas? I saw mad dead bodies and just walking around playing as a kid, like in the fields and shit like that. But this was like late 70s, early 80s, so like those were all heroin addicts. And there used to be heroin needles every fucking where. I didn't know they was, you know, obviously didn't know what it was, but Houston, yeah, Houston fucked up. Yep, that sounds about right.
To him, it was insane. He gets serious and tells us that him and his friends were driving away. He can't get over how crazy his life is. Did you not see what just happened to him? It was insane. He gets serious and tells us that no matter how bad he makes his story seem about Compton, no one will ever understand what it was like to be a kid going through this. Because it was bad. Worse than I can ever explain it. And that's the message between these two songs. No matter how many times Kendrick is influenced to go out with his friends or be with Shireen, the city as a whole can destroy him as a person. So Kendrick tweaking in the back eventually makes his friends park the car. There's a pretty good distance away from the house, so I think it's a good time for...
I know this song.
Pools is the
so this is 3 songs I know on this album.
And it's funny how a lot of people view this as a club song, telling people to drink and party.
Oh.
But that couldn't be farther from the truth. First, what exactly is swimming pools? Well, a swimming pool being a place of fun and jumping in the water. But here, imagine the swimming pool being made it.
Y'all found fresh bodies if blood was still leaking. Damn. Y'all niggas lucky y'all didn't walk up there 10 minutes sooner. Hold on. I don't know if I knew this was Kendrick's song, The Swimming Pools. Let me hear it.
Further from the truth. First, what exactly is swimming pools? Well, a swimming pool being a place of fun and jumping in the water. But here, imagine the swimming pool being made entirely of liquor and addicted people are jumping in. This song steps away from everything and focuses on how Kendrick just promised himself he wouldn't get involved in stuff like this. If he can escape this house, he can show the world that staying a good kid can actually pay off. Telling his friends about last time they told him to drink. Picture this, Kendrick is at a party. Everyone is drinking, the vibes are exciting, and then boom. You can see that people are drinking to escape their sadness. Others just doing it to be accepted by their friends. So Kendrick at this party is, of course, not a drinker, but he stands there, watching, observing, seeing what everyone is doing. When all of a sudden his friends end up right next to him, all extremely drunk, pushing him to drink with them. But after some persistent no's, he ends up giving in because someone called him a pussy. See, now that's where you cross the line. So he starts drinking with them, and shot after shot, the room gets darker and louder, drinking more and more to keep up with his friends. Then comes a crucial point. Kendrick hears a voice, the voice of his conscience, warning him about the dangers of drinking too much.
Okay, now open your mind up and listen to me, Kendrick. Your conscience, if you do not hear me, then you will be listening to me, Kendrick. I know that you're not right now, and I'm hoping to let you just hear me, Kendrick.
For that 1 second, he realizes what he's been doing, since he knows that drowning too much in this poison can lead to a crazy addiction and ruin his life. But Kendrick's already gone too far. He starts mentioning having a new appetite for failure, meaning that he's starting to expect the worst in his life. And this feeling just grows stronger over time, saying,
all this in swimming pools?
We go back to Kendrick explaining this to his friends, but they aren't listening. They still think that he's shooken up after what happened to him earlier. And so fueled by rage, the only thing on their minds from all of this is revenge. How can we get back at those people who did this to him? They can't let this slide. They have to end those guys' life. Without a second thought, they jump back in their car and they go back. Kendrick, not wanting to go, tries to become the voice of reason, but they just keep going faster and faster. Even though these two have nothing to do with it, they feel it's necessary to protect.
So Kendrick is like Trey from Boys in the Hood. He gonna ask him to let him out the car? What's going on?
Him here. And we know that Kendrick is changing, but even him being on this car going back is the single most important part of this
But
album.
just when I thought I had enough, they stopped to hum me out over a bitch. We gonna do the same old shit. I'm gonna pop a few shots, they gonna run opposite way, fall right in the lap.
And I hope that set him up out there. We gonna pop that bitch too.
Wait, hold on, hey. I see something.
Damn.
Got the niggas. K-Dot, you good? You good? Yeah, bud, I'm good. That you good?
Oh shit. Shit just got serious.
These niggas kill my brother.
Oh man.
Sing About Me, I'm Dying of Thirst is the most important song. Throughout this album, there's been this overarching story taking place about love and violence, and Sing About Me, I'm Dying of Thirst serves as that climax that a lot of stories.
The song is as long as hell. Okay, this is a Dying of Thirst song right here. Somebody told me to react to it on Spotify because they got skits. So I'm gonna do that too.
important song. Throughout this album, there's been this overarching story taking place about love and violence, and Sing About Me, I'm Dying of Thirst serves as that climax that a lot of stories have, that is meant to completely motivate the character just for a chance of making a difference. So why? Why is this song specifically so important? Well, this song is cut up into two parts. First, Sing About Me and I'm Dying of Thirst, which we'll find out the meaning of later.
So he did that
Throughout
twice.
the album, we've been following Kendrick and his group of friends. And unfortunately, we just saw one of Kendrick's closest friends pass away after trying to get
What?
revenge for him earlier.
Oh
Now,
shit,
this
hold
song
on.
isn't-
That nigga, that was Kendrick boy who died? I thought they killed the nigga because there was two people out there. Oh man. Oh man. So they saying that Kendrick's boys went to go take revenge for him, and in the process of doing that got killed? Oh shit. Heavy burden.
His closest friends pass away after trying to get revenge for him earlier. Now, this song isn't revolved around that friend who we later learned is named Dave, but is focused on Dave's brother, who I'm calling DB, and how he reacts to finding out what happened. DB just saw his brother die right in front of him. But time goes on and we see him thanking Kendrick, thanking him for always showing so much love to Dave. Even in Dave's dying moments, Kendrick held him, making him feel safe. Even though in this moment he's completely helpless, just the being there meant so much to DB. We go back to a specific day where it's just Kendrick and DB alone, sitting, thinking about life, and for the first time in forever, they have a genuine talk, putting Kendrick in this high pedestal since he has this huge passion to make it out of Compton, because for him it was all lost when he was just a kid, telling him about how much he loves his raps and prays that one day when he makes it big, he'll tell their story, shedding light to all those other kids going through the same situation, making sure that his memory is never forgotten. So fueled by rage, he can't get over his brother's death. It's the same nightmare every night, so he goes for vengeance. But one slip up ended his life. But Kendrick here, fulfilling his wish to sing about me, ending his verse with the final words, am I worth it?
Right now, like, right here. Brother, they killed all these brothers. All right, come back up alive. So what we gonna do, man? What we gonna do? Bro, we can go back right now, man. We can go back right now. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of the running. I'm tired of this. My brother, homie.
I am tired of running. Song after song, it's been issue after issue, problem after problem. They're tired of running, they're tired of hunting, they're tired of living this life of crime, chasing these empty goals. They just watched their friend die and just want to find a way to stop all this madness. Kendrick and his friends start to reflect, saying,
how many sins? I lost count.
They've sinned too much and the Reaper is calling. Death is always close by and feel like there's no escape. So how are they all going to change? It's a cycle of violence, greed, temptation, repentance that keeps pulling them in. But breaking free from that cycle is an uphill battle. But then the most unexpected but beautiful thing happens.
What?
Y'all running, come talk to me. My brother, homie, is that what I think that is? I know that's not what I think that is. Why are you so angry? See, you young men are dying of thirst. Do you know what that means? That means you need water, holy water. You need to be baptized with the Spirit of the Lord. Do you want to receive God as your personal Savior? Okay, repeat after me. Lord God, I come to you a sinner. Lord God, I come to you a sinner.
The phrase dying of thirst isn't about needing water. It's about feeling spiritually empty, desperate for something greater. This lady helping these young men with the sinner's prayer, turning their life into Jesus. No longer running, no longer living a life of crime and revenge, but living for Him. Releasing themselves of this horrible mentality and ready to live this life as a newly found person. And while people like DB were victim of not following through with this newly found mentality, people who did were able to find something greater.
All right now. Remember this day, the start of a new life, your real life.
I mean, at this point, we could have just ended the album right here, right? We just went from Kendrick being this easily influenced, little immature kid to him having this beautiful redemption at the end. So why continue? Well, I like to think of this song as a bowl of cereal because you have two ingredients. You have the cereal and you have the milk. Both in their own regards are perfectly fine separate, but when combined together, magic. So this side of the story is done, right? It's over? Well, kinda. I like to think that there's one final puzzle piece to make this album whole. This song begins right after with Kendrick expressing pride in who he finally is.
I do what I want to do. I say what I want to say.
This is really important because it sets the stage for the main message of the song.
That was a crazy voice inflection or voice change by Kendrick right there. That's nuts.
This is really This is really important because it sets the stage for the main message of the song, being real. But what does that actually mean? After Kendrick took that leap to being true to himself, he realized what's going on with so many other people. He points out how everyone loves material things, fancy clothes, fast cars, money, and they believe that these things will make them happy.
But what love got to do with it when you don't love yourself?
No matter how much you love these material things or other people, if you don't love and accept yourself, none of it really matters. So real isn't about what you have or what other people think of you. It's about knowing yourself and your own worth. Well, true, but there's so much more to it than just that. Throughout the album, we've been getting voicemails from Kendrick's parents. And at first, these voicemails are very sporadic.
Jack, where my motherfucking dominoes at? This is the second time I asked you dominoes. I want your body, cause of that big old fat.
See, hell, he ain't even tripping off them dominoes no more. Just bring the car back.
Did somebody say domino?
Don't hang up. Damn, let me see. Kendrick, when you get this message, man, call me back.
But one thing is extremely clear. Kendrick's parents are flustered. His mom constantly asking for the van back. His dad high as hell the whole time. So they must not be important. Actually, these two characters might be the most important people. At some point after this whole ordeal, Kendrick's parents call him for a third time. Not calling, asking about the car or dominoes, but actually talking to him. His dad starts by apologizing for what happened to Dave.
Jack, I ain't tripping up from dominoes no more. Just calling. Sorry to hear what happened to your homeboy.
He tells him that what those people did to him, that's not being real. For him, being real is responsibility. It's taking care of your family. Real is God. His mom takes the phone and tells Kendrick that Top Dog, the music label, called asking if they could hear more from him, saying that they loved what they've been listening to so far, and if he actually put all of his energy into it, who knows where it can take him. Ending the conversation with something that would push him forward to pursuing this rapping thing.
What happened?
That would push him forward to pursuing this rapping thing.
I don't hear from you. And I love you, Kendrick. I'll see you later. Bye.
Thank you. He's a supermodel.
Everybody serenade the new faith of Kendrick Lamar.
Compton is the final chapter of Kendrick Lamar's Good Kid, M.A.A.d City. And it brings everything we've seen in this album to this powerful conclusion. And when you listen to it, it sounds happy. Kind of like a celebration. And in all honesty, that's exactly what it is. This album has been crazy. I hope you see why so many people are in love with it and can't stop obsessing over this man. But there's one final chapter to this story to finally close this book shut. So, taking place way in the future, Kendrick pursued rap, he signed that deal with Top Dog. We're finally seeing Kendrick at a moment of triumph. He made it. he's at the top, dropping song after song, win after win. The fame and the money keeps stacking up. Life couldn't be going any better. And with fame, he can throw that whole past life behind him. Who cares about everyone else? He's the one who's up. Not a single thought has to go to Compton or that horrible life ever again. I'm gonna pause you right there. Even though Kendrick is at the top, he's never gonna forget where he came from. Kendrick loves the city and the people that are in it. He embraces it, not looking down on it, but holding it to a pedestal for making it who he is today. Giving back to the people of Compton just as he promised his mom. Showing homage to the city, its people, and its culture. The city is united as one. If the album is a story of Kendrick trying to find a way in the midst of chaos, Compton is that resolution where everything comes full circle. If you've been following this far, then you know that the story of Good Kid, M.A.A.d City is deeply rooted on the idea of change. Kendrick says that all kids in Compton are good kids, they just live in the M.A.A.d City. It changes people, it becomes their norm. So by him telling this story of his introduction to this world, to then his everyday life, to his eventual victory, it shows people that they can change too. We saw Kendrick at his worst in Compton, dealing with Shireen, the constant fear of walking outside, to that key moment changing everything for Kendrick, pushing him to achieve more. A story of personal change from an immature teenager to a seasoned adult. Parents focused on dominoes to passing down lessons on being a man. To us witnessing Kendrick's group of friends go from troubled teenagers to converted Christians. Change is at the key center of all of it, showing you that whatever situation you're going through in life, with change, you can overcome it too. So find your good kid in a M.A.A.d city and overcome it.
Wow. You already reached 100K. You're at 123. Alright, that was good. This dude's fire. Alright, man. So, yo, there it is. Good Kid, M.A.A.d City. The whole story. That was a dope-ass breakdown. But after watching that, man, I don't know if I'm gonna like it. This shit was so like introspective and conscious. You know what I'm saying? Like, goddamn, it's like a therapy session. Holy fuck. Man, I'm gonna have to get super high. And it's gonna have to be like around 11:30, 12 o'clock at night when I listen to this joint. Wow. All right, man. Yo, for anybody who was watching this live, thank you. I need to get this Good Kid, M.A.A.d City album reaction done so I can put it out by the middle of next week. You know, I'm on CPT. That's colored people time, meaning I'm late. I should have did this shit 2 weeks ago. You know what I mean? All right, man. Yo, on to the next one. We out.